Yo, what's good, YouTube? You already know who it is. It's royalty. My fault. Forgot. Rebrand. I was about to say it's your boy with a shiesty. I'm tweaking. Anyway, I got another video, and I think no, I don't think. I know. I fixed the problem with the videos. So now I can finally do it without the lagging back and forth. Anyway, is cheating always wrong? The Middle Ground by Jubilee. That's what we're watching today, and we're gonna hop straight into it and react to this. Cue the intro. Ooh, starting to look like I got a big ass forehead. My dread's starting to stick out. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video.
It's honestly
No
you're not
glitching.
even taking accountability for what you did.
Hold
You
on.
chose to cheat.
Disclosing that you cheated to the person that you cheated on
Here, this is gonna
is
be a
not
completely
accountability.
honest
That is
reaction.
just
No
revealing
That is
jokes. Well, a
taking
little couple
accountability.
jokes,
I would
but
consider
I'm
that
going
as
to give
a
my honest
form of
opinion
taking
on all of these.
accountability. You're so open.
That's delivering
Open
news.
about this. That
Maybe
is
it's
a
the
form
first
of
step
taking
towards
a-
accountability.
I agree with
Thank
you.
Maybe it's
It
the
is.
first
It's the
step.
first step.
Hi, I'm Gen, and I explore social and controversial issues through both sides. And today I'll be moderating this middle ground episode of Cheaters versus Cheated On. We'll be exploring topics such as the personal experiences of people cheating, the emotional toll that it takes on relationships, and why exactly do people cheat. The first prompt is I would forgive my partner if they cheated on me. Agreeers, please step forward.
I feel like from the side of being cheated on, I think the biggest thing to understand is that forgiveness is something that everybody does deserve. I think that once we get into the discussion of why somebody cheated, we can really understand whether or not that person is sympathetic and whether or not that person is somebody that you want to keep around in your life. But I think forgiveness and keeping them in
What's
that
that
same
question? Hold on, let me
relationship
move
are
my
not
let me move the camera
synonymous.
real
They
quick.
go separately.
I completely
I
agree.
would forgive.
However, I
I would,
do think that
oh,
forgiveness is something that we
would I
give to
forgive?
ourselves, not necessarily somebody else. So, in the event that my husband cheats on me, I would be giving.
Would I forgive if my partner cheated on me? No. See, and it's for the same reason I think Duke has said it one time. I have a very vivid memory. If you tell me you cheated, I'm gonna be like imagining it and seeing that shit in my head. Like that's gonna fuck me up like I'm going like I would actually like my brain would imagine it and it would hurt me even more. Like so I can't forgive cheating. And honestly, I feel like if I forgive cheating the first time, you think like you can get away with it a second time. That's I can't rock like that. After you cheat on me once, I already lost all trust in you. And after that, it's done. Like there's no coming back to the relationship after that.
Him forgiveness so that I could set myself free from any hostility or anger that I may hold on to in the event.
I think it should benefit both sides in that sense. Now, whether that other person takes it and uses it to their benefit,
Yeah.
you can't control that, and it shouldn't be up to you to try and push that. But yes, also making sure that that forgiveness is for yourself as well, so you can move forward, whether it be with that person or alone, and not take that burden on to the next relationship if that relationship doesn't work out.
I completely agree, and I forgive because I've been forgiven. So, and I'm a Christian, so I believe in forgiveness. I believe that we should forgive people
Christian and cheating?
because
The
we
fuck?
have been forgiven.
You know, you can have short-term forgiveness and long-term forgiveness, and it's like, are you addressing the root of the issue? And
Yes.
and really, if you're truly forgiving, and forgiveness is something that comes with maturity and with life experience, you it's the whole circle of forgiveness. You get so much, and you release the other person and yourself from anything, and then you can move forward from that
Yes.
point.
One thing that is interesting though is that there are three people from the cheater side who have sat down, but only one on the cheated on.
That is interesting.
I guess
yeah.
I'd be curious to hear more so about
'Cause he already
your
forgave.
guys'
He's
experiences,
probably
because it
forgiven
seems
already.
like
He's
in
forgiven his
this
partner who
instance
cheated
you
on
were
him.
cheated on.
Yes, yes,
So I cheated on him,
yes.
and
Oh
he
shit.
forgave me.
What the fuck? Yo, wait, so how did this conversation go? Like, okay, so like you cheated on me and I and I was the one who got cheated on. Let's go to this like let's go to this it's like just Jubilee video so we can give our input. Like how the fuck did that conversation go? Like how did you talk her or how did she talk him into going on to the show to talk about them cheating or her cheating?
But I guess I'll let you explain that.
Forgiveness
I
is
don't get
a
it.
it's a
I
step by
probably
step
wouldn't go on.
process. It's not anything that does happen instant.
I'm not
And
cheated though.
for
I don't cheat.
us, that was something that we did step by step. And as you said, getting down to the root of it was a big thing,
Yes.
to where all questions have been answered, all things that were left up to an idle mind are no longer there. And so by getting down to the root of it, I can also figure out, okay, were there some areas that as a husband I did not uphold what I needed to be? It might have been that you might have felt emotionally you couldn't feel like you can come to me.
So do you feel like you have equal blame in the cheating that occurred?
Can I interrupt?
I think that's what most people think. Like, in my opinion, there's no reason for cheating. Like, if you are in a relationship, to me, I think cheating is just like what's the word? I'm trying to think what's the word for it. If like there's something that they're not providing and like you can talk to them about that. Like say, all right, I'm in a relationship with my girl right now. Whenever she has a problem, she'll talk to me about it. She'll tell me, okay, I don't like that how you're not doing this or this, and I will fix that. But like, if he's not doing it, I don't think going out and finding another person who's gonna do this is gonna fix the situation. Cause like you're going out of your own relationship for this. Like this is like if you don't talk to him about it, it's never gonna get fixed. You're literally just ruining the relationship. At that point, just break up and go get with somebody who is gonna do it.
I think
I don't see
that
the point. I just don't see the point of
bringing the
cheating. Like cheating's
conversation
always been
to
like something
the
stupid in my opinion.
concept of blame, I think you actually kind of have to understand the purpose of blame. And I think that the purpose of blame is to shift responsibility. When I have conversations around cheating, I really like to steer clear of the blame game because the truth is, like, we all played a part, society included.
Can we have the disagreeers please step forward? Just to go back to kind of the
I'm low key thinking about
imbalance that we saw there, I'd be curious to hear from the cheated on group first.
There's a few things I heard that I found interesting. One, you said about not using the blame game, and then also when you said about you felt like you may have had something to do with, not being a husband or whatever it may be. And those are things I kind of disagree with. In that, like, I know most of us walk with good intentions in life, right? We're all trying to be a good person, yes, or maybe not. But at the most part, you start off that way, right?
good
But
point. A
I
lot of
guess the way
people, horrible
I
people.
live my life, I don't give anybody any excuse to do something wrong to me. So if you do something wrong to me, you have to kind of go out of your way to do that. And this idea that you start saying, well, it must have been something I did. It actually might not have been. It might have been just the other person wasn't where you were at as a human being. And also the other thing I heard was about, forgiving for yourself. I've never understood that statement. They did something wrong, I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to hold any ill will to you. It just happened.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
So I actually agree with the two things you said about the forgiveness. I have never understood that either. I just feel like for me, if it works for other people, that's great. I actually have found healing in not forgiving people. And I think there's a difference. I think I choose not to forgive them and then eventually I am indifferent towards them, is what I'm saying. I think there's a difference
I
between
think
not
that's
forgiving
more
someone
like
and
what I am
hating
as well.
someone.
And I think most of that comes from that narrative comes from usually the person who cheated saying, you forgive for yourself. But like, you never hear.
Now, my experience with cheating, I've never been physically cheated on. I've only been emotionally cheated on. And my reaction, I think my reaction was just like I was mad, I was hurt, I just had a bunch of feelings, but I never like it it hurt bad, don't get me wrong. I didn't like the feeling. Like it was bad. I cried, of course, but I didn't forgive her and I moved on. Do I talk to her now? I mean, well, she's recently got back to talking to me. Fucking no. She talks to me now, but I don't really care. At that point, I was hurt by her, and yes, I did break up with her. But now I'm just indifferent. Like I see her every day now. We go to the same school, but like, okay, she's there. So what? She has a whole nother relationship. Okay, like I could give less of a fuck about what she's doing or what she's going on to. So like she moved on, I moved on. I want to go back to her at all.
Coming from the actual person who got cheated on. And again, to that point, it seems it's always connected to if you don't forgive, you're holding on to some ill will. No, I just don't think about it. It's done, and I'll just move on with life.
At least for me, I think that it comes back around to honesty. I mean, any of us that were cheated on, I don't think it's any of our responsibility that our partner chose to be dishonest with us about anything. Because even if you assume that, it was something you did, maybe you weren't being open enough, or maybe the conversation wasn't happening that needed to happen, it's still not your responsibility fully, I don't think. You can't force anyone to be faithful or to be honest or to be true.
And that's the interesting part that, someone gets cheated on thinks, well, what did I do? Like, they should never think that.
With the early part of our marriage, what I thought a husband was, I go out, I make the check, and I come home and have sex. I'm just being completely
No,
honest. I
nigga,
didn't
that's
see
not what
nothing
being a
else
husband is at all.
emotional that I needed to bring to the table. So that does
Well, his
not make
shorty's
an
cheating. I'm
excuse
not
for
gonna lie.
somebody to
So,
go out and
no.
do something. Yes, we should go ahead and have
That's
communication. We
not that's
should
not
try
a
to
good
learn how to
reason though.
grow
It's not a good
within
reason though.
this.
It's not a good reason.
But I feel like that was the importance of trying to figure out where did I have any type of flaw as a husband? Because even if we would have decided we're not going to work it out, I don't want to go and keep recreating the same type of marriage.
I just want to say I think it's really interesting that you're the only person from the cheated on and I was the only person from the cheated side. And speaking from my personal experience, because my partner also used to be a cheater, and we came together, and maybe part of it is just us growing up, or we committed to each other, but we consciously made the decision to grow together, grow separately. And so I think if he were to cheat on me, I would not be able to forgive that, because it's like, well, we promised each other this growth, and we've put all, it would be less about the cheating itself, I think, for me, and more about the breaking the promise of the growth that we've made. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to trust you now?
For my specific experience, it was more of a physical thing. I was a virgin and I wasn't ready to do that yet. And the guy I was with was a couple years older than me, and he went out and did that. And I could never forgive him because the physical thing was something that we could never fix. I wasn't going to have sex with him. So forgiveness for me was very hard because there was nothing to work on for me. So there was nothing to improve that relationship. So it was over.
I'm just curious if he had, I have no idea what your relationship was like.
Go for it.
If he had come to you and said, I love you, I care about you, this is something that I really need, how would you feel about, like, allowing him to go out and do that? Or would you like, we should just
Okay, so putting myself in her position, that's fucked up, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like to me, sex isn't really a really important thing, mostly because the fact that I'm a virgin. Yes, so sex isn't really important for me. But you cheating because she wouldn't have sex with you, I know I know there's some people who can't go like fucking a couple of days without sex. I know people like that. And yes, they are very much addicted to sex. So like for me, no. But do I think it's a talk that he should have probably had and not just gone out and cheated? Then yes.
break up then?
Totally. I mean, I think that I was getting to the point of potentially being ready.
Oh,
But after he did that
good.
with
So
someone
he should
else,
have
then I
talked.
was
He
like,
should have
okay,
definitely
no.
talked to
And
her.
I literally did not speak to a man for like 3, 4 years. Like it was a very emotionally
Three
traumatizing for me. I
years?
was only 16.
Damn. 3 fucking years? No, that's how you know that shit hurt. That's how you know that shit hurt.
Love is so rewarding when it's good, but it's so painful when it's bad. Even when you know you've been wrong.
Yeah, gang, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not watching that.
For supporting this channel. Now let's get back to the episode. Emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating.
I think it more depends on the overall context. Like, say, using my situation, me and my shorty are both virgins. We are both virgins. She's a virgin, I'm a virgin. And I think it would definitely hurt more like if she physically cheated on me. Cause the fact of the matter is like so in my brain it'd be like you gave your body to a person that you don't love instead of saving it for the person that you do love. I think that's what would really like hit me the hardest. I've already been emotionally cheated on, and yes, it hurt, but like in my opinion, physically cheating hurts way more. And I don't ever want to physically cheat. I've already ran like the same my like creative imagination ran the simulation in my head, and like I can't handle it. Like I would be on the floor bawling, crying. I probably would not do YouTube no more. Like life would probably just fall apart for me, and that like I would heal, but at that moment in time, I would not be able to continue with most of my activities.
Okay. It's just worse.
But I
I've
think it
been cheated
depends on
on
the
twice
person
in the
and how they
past
feel
year.
overall,
The first was physical,
overall
the second
situation as
was
well.
emotional. And to me, well, I don't want to bring it back to Jillian while she's standing over there, but we were talking about like the concept of virginity, and she was only 16. Like the physical cheating aspect, I was cheated on because I wasn't, I suppose, being sexual enough, despite the communication that we had going on. I was just kind of being lied to the whole time. But emotionally, for me, that's what relationships are built on. So lying about something like that, or like having someone else on the side that you're giving those parts of you to, when I truly just want to like know the inner depths of like your being, because we are in a relationship, it's just worse to me.
You hesitated to come up.
Oh, hesitated to come up because I think the word worse is like it implies that there is a level of significance
Oh
to
no.
whether you act on
I
it
don't know
or
about her.
not. And
She's giving me like a gaslighter vibe. She's giving me like the person that's gonna find a a s- a reason or specific like reason that she's not wrong for cheating. I don't like her. I feel like this will be the type of person because I'm like easily manipulative. Because I'm gonna be like, oh, did what did I do wrong? Like, what did I? Because that's just the type of person I am. So I automatically don't like her.
And I think ultimately cheating comes down to managing your own thought life. And as far as what you said about you not meeting his physical needs, I'd like to.
It was her, but yeah.
Oh, her. Sorry.
You're
Sorry.
good. Same deal.
I'd love to shirk that off of you because what somebody else does in life is a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. So, like, as far as the, oh, I didn't meet physical needs of my partner, I think you can't really say that because if they weren't vocal about it, right? Absolutely, which is like that was the main reason and one of the only reasons that we broke up. And I called it off, and I was still
Like
never
if it's
apologized
specifically
to. It
for
was
one of
never
these reasons,
acknowledged
you
that it
have
even
to tell your
happened.
partner
Yeah.
this.
Because that
There's like
betrayal was
most of
so
this can be solved by just telling your
tangent,
partner.
it was a lot easier for me, like for me to let go of it. But having like a deep emotional connection with someone, I like tried again with an ex, and then I ended up getting emotionally cheated on. I had much more of a deeper investment in the character of that person, and I cared very deeply about where we were going in life and how we were growing together, and to sort of have that growth cut off, is something different entirely. I do like what you said though about using the word worse and like how that how there's like
Yeah.
a level of significance to betrayal, whether it's actually executed with your body or not.
Yeah.
I think that
It's still betrayal.
yeah, it's still a betrayal, right?
So I have a long history of cheating, unfortunately. And I have
Oh
both
shit.
physically cheated and
Just
emotionally
makes a
cheated.
lot of
The
bad
way my
decisions.
various partners responded was different. I don't think that it's fair to say one is worse than the other.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Because at first I was standing back there, I'm like, physical has to be.
I think to certain people, one would feel worse either. Like to me, physical cheating is worse than emotional cheating. But like to other people, they would have more like on their emotional. So more than because there's like asexuals who build relationships over their emotions instead of actual sexual productivity. So like they will probably see their like emotional cheating as worse. But I think it's just the overall situation and the person who people who aren't included that would like really depends on if they see this as worse or this as worse.
And I'm like, everybody has a different standard or a different experience. I can't say what's worse for somebody else, what maybe for me. The other thing is, I don't understand. I'm not sure I even know what emotional cheating actually
Thank you.
is.
That's what
I'm sitting there, I'm like,
somebody please
I'm like,
define
what
that
is
for me,
yeah,
'cause
what
I
is
don't
emotional
understand
cheating?
what
Yeah.
that means at all.
So, emotional cheating, like when, let's say, you're going to someone and talking to them about the problems
Okay. Okay.
in your relationship,
Mm.
and they're offering that advice, they're offering you comfort,
They're giving you everything that you
yeah,
want.
that you're desiring
Okay,
at that
yeah,
point
yeah.
when you're actually supposed to be going to
To
your spouse or to the person that you're with.
I agree with you, but I would take that a step further and say you can emotionally cheat and like they not know about your spouse or your partner. Like it's about having a relation, like you're talking to them with the way you talk to your partner. You, because I have my high school sweetheart. Was in love with someone else. I was in love with two people at the same time. It was very complicated. But before anything ever physically happened, I was emotionally cheating on my boyfriend at the time because I was talking to this guy like he was my boyfriend too, even though we weren't together. You know, and I know people who have divorced, who have left their marriages because it was like, well, I've fallen in love with someone else, even though we've never done anything physical. Whereas by that same token, you can also have like a one night stand and it be purely physical and not emotional cheating at all.
It's funny because like it seemed like you're describing when you're trying to get to know about somebody because you want to date them. So that's why it's kind of like really
Let me
Yeah,
help you.
yeah, it's kind
basically
of
like
like confusing.
Emotional
having a
cheating
talking stage while
begins
being in a
when you
relationship.
have a relationship with somebody that your partner is not aware of.
Okay.
And
A
the
romantic
depth-
relationship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
for
I was
me,
at 6.
I think
Don't worry
lots of
about it.
things. I look at lots of people. I expect that
This
whoever I'm
old
with
ass
is
man, bro. When
thinking
did you
whatever they're
cheat?
thinking while they're looking at
Back in
people.
'09?
And
That boy
relationships
cheated in
that
the
we
big
all have with
97.
each other, for me,
Cheated
like
back in the
my
97.
girlfriends and I've been cheated on and cheated, and it's all complex and complicated and based on a case per case basis until they take action, some kind of action where they're physically engaging with another person. They're not cheating on me as far as I'm concerned because they're living life as a human being and they're just feeling and thinking and fantasizing and doing
So
all
he's
the
just like
things
a
that
really
we all
open
do
spirit.
because we're human beings and that's what we do.
And that's
you
how,
know?
and that's how you feel.
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, say-
Yeah, that's how he
feel
feels
it.
about
That's
it.
why I said it about 3 or 4
As someone
times.
who has cheated, did you feel, if you've ever felt any some type of way, whether it be guilt or anything, did you feel worse about emotionally cheating or physically cheating?
I've never emotionally cheated. I'm a human being and I live my life. And if I think something or I have a relationship with her where I'm telling her about my relationship and I'm falling in love with her, that's okay. I can feel that. But until I do something about it, I haven't cheated. I haven't done anything to my partner.
I've been cheated on multiple times, so it's just like, and it's always been like a physical thing, and it's really hurt me, and that's why I think the physical is worse for me
Yeah, I
personally
think
than
physical's
maybe the
worse in my
emotional
opinion.
would be. But I can totally see both sides
Yeah.
because emotional is but emotional is difficult too. But for me, the thing that sets my like romantic relationship apart from a best friendship is the intimate, physical stuff. For me, I can have tight relationships with other guys, but I'm not going to go sleep with them because I'm not romantically involved.
Oh, I'm still very close with my high school sweetheart. We're
Totally.
very good friends.
Yes, and I have
because-
exes too that I can
Yeah.
be like, we're
Yeah.
chill,
And
but I'm
I can see both sides because I have female friends. To me, I don't I'm not really intimate with them. Like the way I chill with my girl and the way I chill with them are two completely different responses. Like I'll treat my girl a certain way, of course. I don't make flirty jokes with the other shorties. I don't do any of that. I'm mostly just rage baiting, honestly. That's mostly what I do. Like I'll of course be chill and funny and might push them on the back of the head just to be funny and rage bait. But they do the same thing to me, and my girl understands that. But I can't stand it when other people try to put their input and say like, "Oh, he is emotionally cheating. He might be. It might be a problem later on." I don't want any of the girls that I rage bait, bro.
not gonna go
I
hook up
don't.
with you in the car, like, you know what I mean?
Right, and
Like,
we have that
it's just-
trust. Like
yeah.
I said, I think at the end of the day, it's situational. It's
Mhm.
for some people, emotional cheating might be worse. For some people, physical cheating might be
Exactly.
worse. For some people, it's the same.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody's
interesting.
different.
Let's move on to the next prompt.
All right, next problem.
I
Let's
would
go.
date someone who cheated on others in the past.
No. And I'm gonna say why I say no. Me personally, in my opinion, if you cheat, there's gonna be something in a relationship. Nobody's just gonna match your, oh, he's the perfect man for me, or oh, she's the perfect shorty for me. There's always gonna be a certain amount of something that's missing, whether they're not as sexual as you want, or they're not as emotionally open or inclined. So like you're gonna go out, you're gonna find this person who is that emotionally inclined or that sexual, and you're gonna cheat with them. Now, personally, the way I think when I'm in a relationship is different. I see my relationship as, oh, of course, my shorty's not perfect. Of course, she don't got the fattest ass or the biggest chest. But of course, she doesn't listen to me when I give her good advice, and still she goes out and makes a dumb decision, even after I warned her, and then comes back to complain to me about it, even after I told her this would happen. Of course, she's not perfect, but the point is she's mine. Like that's what I care about. I don't care about the flaws. I don't care about the extra like well, I love all parts of her equally. So yes, would it be more like I more enjoy it if she had fatter parts? Yes, of course I would. I'm a man. Who doesn't like fat? Who doesn't like tits or ass? But I love her because she's mine. Nobody else can have her. That's specifically me. And that's one of the main reasons why I wouldn't cheat, because there's no other her. I think I would want so like if you cheated, I wouldn't think you have that type of mentality towards me, so I wouldn't really like want to be in a relationship with you. I know my girl has that mentality. She's overly explained it. Oops, let's play.
That was so fast. I didn't hear it.
I agree wholeheartedly. A person's past is indicative of who they were at that point in time, not necessarily who they want to become or who they are in the present moment. And I
Oh, Brad.
think what's most important is who we are in the present moment.
I agree too because I believe people can change. I changed, so I believe that. Now, can you make someone change? Like,
Oh no, I
obviously not.
believe people
But
can change. It's just like would I want to take the risk knowing that this has happened before? Like I'm trying to think of an example. Say like there's a chance like someone been attacked by a shark in the water like a couple days ago. There's a chance I could get attacked by that same shark, but there's also a chance that I won't if I just don't get in the water. So I think that personally sums it up for me. I don't want to take the chance of getting cheated on, so I'm just gonna avoid it altogether.
I agree with that.
Yeah. No, I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like if somebody did something, say for example in their 20s and they're in their mid 30s now, I can't hold them to that
Yeah,
past.
Right.
There's things that I've done, and so I feel like it would be
there's things that
wrong
I've
for a
done that I
person to
wouldn't do
say,
again.
"Hey, you can't change, you can't come out of that." And so who am I to say I'm not going to date you because you did something to somebody else? And I think those are things that you would only figure out like the surface level stuff early on anyway, before you get down to the deeper details.
I am currently dating somebody who used to cheat, maybe even worse than I did. And I mean, to your point about cheating in your 20s, I think the last time I cheated on anybody was maybe like 5 to 7 years ago. And, like I was saying before, my partner and I,
I like her.
we
She's
made a
real. She's
commitment to each
honest about her
other
past.
to help each other be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And I'm very secure in my relationship. I have my moments, but that has more to do with like me than it does him. When he goes out, I'm like, oh, see you later. Like it doesn't. There's no doubt in my mind that he is faithful.
Since I began my marriage as an affair, the man that I have been with for the last 10 years is the man that I cheated with. I proceeded to have 3 of his babies, and
Oh my
we now
God, you
have a
just doubled
fabulous
down.
life. But in the beginning, the amount of paranoia and anxiety that came from the fact that you cannot
Exactly.
control anybody else's behavior but your own
There'll always be
was
that like little
insane.
piece of you like
And
wondering
so
and
I think
worrying.
coming to terms with accepting the realization that what is inside of my control and what is outside of my control was liberating.
I'm interested to hear the disagreeers because, again, I think we have 3 people on the cheater side and then 1 on the cheated on. So, disagreeers, please step forward.
I don't disagree. I didn't hear the prompt. So.
So
I
mean,
actually, yeah, I think I honestly.
I mean, everything everybody said sounds great on a Christmas card, I guess. Like, if I'm being honest, because at the end of the day, I think, I don't say that disrespectfully. I mean, at the end of the day, we all still are human beings, right? And we go off experience, okay? For instance, in my situation, I was married, but at the time, I didn't know how many times prior to that she cheated, right? So again, when you meet somebody, you don't straight away know off the bat, oh, they've been cheating. As you go along and as you go through this situation, you start to go back to this conversations and stories you've had, and it's like, oh, that was the behavior that was always there. You just didn't know it, right? Would you take a banker who's stolen money in the past? You're kind of gonna be like, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Like, so I think it's situational and how you meet the person and how you grow. Like, even you said, you had your affair and now you're married with 10 years with 3 kids. It grew into something, but you started off with paranoia, but
Right.
it grew into something real, right? So I think it's again very situational.
I mean, it was
Yeah,
even
very
real in the
situational
affair.
situation.
Okay, so like I kind of
That
want to get the head
sounded
of the
dumb
narrative
as
that
hell. I'm fucking stupid. A very situational situation.
like people fall in love when they cheat because it's a
A very situational
fantasy.
thing, I mean.
And I think if it were a fantasy, it wouldn't hurt so bad, right? So I really like to keep it in the reality sector just because I think it invalidates the experience. And what you just shared actually hits on the fact that your wife, ex-wife,
Mhm.
your ex-wife had serial cheating. And I am of the belief that serial cheating exists if you don't understand why you do it. So, if we do not actually do the deep dive and understanding why we behave the way that we behave, we'll never be able to correct. So, from the beginning, she was deceitful with you, right? Like, I think that if I get the opportunity in the future to go into another relationship, which it's already disclosed on the internet, so whatever, but I'm going to be upfront, you know, like I have a history of deceiving people I love, and I am capable of it.
I'm curious.
And I can respect
Do
that.
any of you guys have kids?
We do.
Yes, we do.
Didn't
And
she say
I
she
think that
had
brings
kids?
up a whole another dynamic for me when I went through mine because I had kids involved, and that was kind of like, and you know, it's like, not saying that's worse or better because cheating is cheating regardless. But again,
But it
being
definitely like
real
makes you
and being a
think
human being,
more.
you're gonna react a different way because you've got kids involved.
So I'm gonna
Do you think you're going to
expose.
be a
Like
lot more, when you go and date again, would you be a lot more stringent on
it'll be a lot more difficult, like breaking up or divorcing and then also going to date again. Cause there's a lot of messed up people in the world and you don't know how they'll react to kids or like how they'll treat your kids behind closed doors. Like out in front of you, they might be nice, but like and like you have to also think about their well being. Also their mental and how they would react to their mom and their dad divorcing over something that they don't really understand yet.
your requirements then now that
I
you
have
do
divorced
have your
parents,
own
so
I
kids?
think that's just a
I've
natural
seen
thing. Not
both sides of the
saying that's
coin.
justifiable, but like you're gonna have standards. You've been through one thing. There's certain things that you're gonna not tolerate. The whole dating thing is kind of put on hold because my focus is on kids, especially in a society that downplays fathers in their kids' lives. And because I came from a two-parent household, I'm very like I'm gonna be there for my kids no matter what. Like even right now, if they're called right now, I'll be out of here.
I want to hear more from the disagreeers. Is that like a
It's a great
requirement
dad.
now that if they were a cheater in the past, you won't even consider dating them,
Well,
or is it case by case?
It's interesting. For me, I think it is case by case. The main reason for me disagreeing with this prompt is because it's about the serial cheating thing. Like the person who physically cheated on me was a serial cheater before me, and has continued to be like since our breakup. And I would never, ever, ever touch that with a 10-foot pole again.
I was a serial
That's
cheater.
how I feel about my ex.
Um,
How'd you change?
well, here's the thing.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I'm the only child of a single mom. So there was no father at home. There was no
Holy.
example of what a healthy relationship is in terms of a man and a woman. So, and I grew up.
Not gonna lie, bro. That excuse does not work anymore, bro. Cause the bad thing is I'm the same way. My mother and my father had a divorce, and I have had literally zero showings of any positive relationships, and that going into my own relationships has made it also difficult for me because I was mostly raised by women, Yes, I was supposed to be by a woman, and I have a hard time expressing my emotions to my girlfriend. So mm, but gang, that's not working for you, gang. Cause come on, you have 50 years to fix that. Also, oh shit, got a PlayStation notification. Also, bro, as having brothers and sisters who also don't have great relationships, yes, yes, I've 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 seen bad relationships. Not any like abusive or anything, but like cheating, mostly being like what's the word? Opportunists. So yeah, that don't work for you, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I've had the same shit, bro.
With a lot of female energy. So I had aunts and grandmothers and stuff who were all raising me. So I had a very emotional aspect to my being. And so because of that, I craved female attention. And so
Bad
whenever
emotional.
females would give me attention, it was just like, oh, if they wanted to do whatever, I was on board. I'm like,
I've
let's
had
go, you
feminine
know,
input.
it's life.
I don't
And
think
this
of
is great.
I didn't
And then
have the
after about,
feminine like
after
attention
starting to
seeking
mature
thing.
and grow up a little bit, I'm like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel like the right thing to do, you know? I can't even explain it. It just kind of descended into my being. And I was like, this is not you. You're not this person. And that's where I found one sense of my character and integrity about myself.
I am also a serial cheater, and my partner was a
She's
serial
very
cheater
open.
as
I like her
well.
for
And
that.
we were very honest with each other in the beginning. As soon as it was serious, you know, hey, I have this history. Oh, me too. And he was able to communicate to me, this is why I made these horrible choices. So I am confident that he wouldn't make those choices again.
For those who have been serial cheaters and now found themselves or gone through and understand, I guess what would you say to the people who've been serial cheated on? Because it's interesting, like you guys have gone through something and you figured stuff out, and you always hear those people who are like, why am I always finding that guy or that girl and they're always cheating on me? Like how, what do you say to them?
And I'm speaking from experience, not with cheating, but with other things, that sometimes when someone has trauma from a relationship, that you enter your next relationship thinking, oh, this person's going to save me. This is going to be the person who fixes my trauma. And it becomes this cycle of trauma where that person then is like, oh, this person thinks of me as their savior, and they'll take advantage of that. And that is not like, I'm not victim blaming. That is not to say that like, and it's your fault.
Yeah, but that's a relationship thing.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is like in relationships, when you find yourself finding the same kind of people,
Yeah.
you have to stop finding people and go,
Yeah.
what is it
Pursue it.
about me? What do I have to figure out about me and what's going
Why
on?
keep, yeah.
And how I feel about other people and what my boundaries are and all kinds of
Fact.
things.
It's the types
He's
of
talking.
energy
He's
that you
spitting
might
truth.
be unconsciously like looking
attracting.
for.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily attracting, but like sometimes when a person is traumatized in a certain way, unconsciously,
Unconsciously.
you will chase that
Looking
trauma
for it.
over
Exactly.
and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
But I think what you said about boundaries, I mean, that is the key. And I think a lot of people don't understand that like boundaries is not saying like you can't do this because you can't control other people like we were
Yeah.
saying. A boundary is like if you do this, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. It's the consequence of the person crossing that boundary.
There are much worse things that can break a relationship than cheating.
Join our Middle Ground Patreon to watch this exclusive prompt.
It's okay to express attraction to others while in a relationship.
As the only person from the cheated on section.
That's me thinking, yes. Wait, express? I mean, it's okay to express attraction. I would say yes. It's a human thing to like be attracted to certain like features or body features on other females or other men. So like, yes, I have been attracted to other females before, but like, would I pick them over my girl? No. I can, yeah, I can say I like her. Well, yeah, she looks good, or yeah, she bad, but mm, I still pick my girl over her. Like, it's not gonna change.
I think that it is okay because personally for me, again, like talking about how I think that relationships are built on honesty and communication, I would rather know that you have attraction to someone than you just keep that on the back burner and not tell me. Like, let me know. Like, let me know. Attraction is human. Love is only human.
Exactly.
Desire is human. I have not cheated on anyone. I have absolutely no plans to cheat on anyone. But like, if I
Exactly.
found someone
She's speaking
attractive,
facts.
I would tell my partner. My current girlfriend is amazing, and I would hope that she would feel open in telling me that as well. And I like to open a lot of my conversation. I mean, a lot of my relationships with that conversation, and just like be like,
As far as
hey, can
telling
you
my
just like let me
girl,
know
like,
if anything
I think
goes
she's
that way?
fine.
Well, I
I
love
wouldn't
what
really
you just
tell
said
her. I
because it
would like
really speaks
keep that to
volumes
myself. 'Cause,
to
like,
your
man,
individual security in revealing
I
your
just don't.
authentic
I think
self
that'd be kind
inside
of
of your
awkward. Ooh,
relationship.
babe.
So well
Ooh,
done,
babe.
you.
She's so
I
fucking
also
bad.
think
Look at that.
that
Like, I
if
think that'd just be kind of weird to tell your girlfriend. Ooh, babe. Her, like, she is so fucking fine, but she bad as shit, and her ass is fat. I think that'd just be kind of wild to say to my
we
girl.
have an
I
innate
don't think I would
response
tell her
to
that.
something that we see,
I don't think so.
and we
No thanks.
actually don't give voice to it. We're ultimately putting ourselves in a place of denial. And denial is not just a river in Egypt. And what it ends up doing is you start suppressing yourself and making yourself smaller for the comfort of having your relationship, which then means your relationship becomes the goal
If
rather
she
than
asks, I
you
would
being
tell
an
her though.
individual who can be seen, valued, and understood inside of the relationship.
You know, me and my partner have shared these things, but like I also have struggled with my own insecurities. And so he always makes sure to add in like, but like you know. So I think it depends on who it is, but I think I agree that yes, it is obviously healthier to give voice because then of course like if I don't know, let's say my partner finds someone attractive and I catch him looking and then I'm like, why are you know what I mean? And so then I might get suspicious. Is like, why have you not said anything to me?
But wouldn't you say that your insecurities are for you to manage, not your partner?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. No, I mean that's
So
my issue.
him or her changing their behavior because of your insecurities would lead them to a place of inauthenticity.
Oh, I want to make it very clear. I didn't ask him to do that.
Oh, okay,
That's just that just comes from him. He just and maybe it comes from him because he knows I've struggled with insecurities, but I haven't said to him, and you need to do this. That's not it's just him expressing
Yeah,
himself.
I
You
have
know,
a lot
for
of
me, it's like
insecurities
when
as
I
well.
start a relationship,
So I
I
hear
want
everything she's talking about.
communication, you know, and it's very important that we're able to talk with each other about.
My girl told me like, "Oh, he looks good." Okay. But like, if I see her like staring at another man, I'll be like, "Oh no, I'm going on a petty street, gang. Oh yeah, I'm revoking all your rights. Every kiss, every hand holding, all neck kisses taken away, revoked, gang. Cause like I'd be hurt. I would be pressed that day.
Everything because we're two human beings who have feelings, and unless you act on those feelings, you know, and sometimes I think talking about it can keep you from acting on it as well. You know, all that openness can keep things, you know, just
Yeah.
I think it can help.
Well, the partner that physically cheated on me, I don't know if she's fully polyamorous, but that's sort of where she tends to lean. And I knew that going in, but she was not being real with me about it. So, like, I would rather you come tell me when you find someone attractive and we discuss the possibility of even trying that than you to just go behind my back and not do that. Because I don't think that I'm poly, but like, I would rather have honesty and communication, openness.
And that is cheating. I think if someone is
Like, you
polyamorous
should
and they're
tell
not
me,
honest about it,
or if you
that
don't
is
want to tell me, just
absolutely
don't
so yeah,
tell
we
me.
started
has
off
to be
with that.
communication. Because I am queer, I often will find like women and non-binary people attractive, and my partner is a male, and he's very okay with that, and not in like a gross, creepy way, but like he understands that like I'm also going to be attracted to like these other genders, and so us discussing,
Oh yeah,
who
if
we
my
find
girl was attracted
attractive
to other
is a
shorties, I would
very
not give a
natural
fuck. I would
part
not
of the
care.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
discussing, day-to-day life, I think.
And I reassure him
Other
too.
genders, cool.
I'm always
Like, if
like,
she
you're
cheat on me with
you're
other
the
genders,
best.
yes, I would be heated. But as far as other genders, I
I
wouldn't care
personally don't
if
believe
she being
that there
attracted.
should be any attraction to anyone, while especially for marriage. Speaking on marriage, we believe in monogamy. We believe in one, man and wife,
She
and I
cheated.
do believe that we should not have
She
any
cheated.
type of attraction to anyone. It leads to problems, and it
Okay,
absolutely can.
so I don't know if they like asked or told her or told us, but like, what type of cheating did she do? Because for her, if she did physical cheating and then is talking like this, I'm not gonna lie, it everything she just said would have went in one ear and out the other. But if it's like emotional cheating, like then I don't know, cause like she's talking about her being Christian and all this, but she the one that cheated. So I'm kind of confused. Like I'm kind of confused here.
and lead to even cheating. Yeah, if you are feeling that way in your relationship, then obviously that does need to be expressed. But and that tells a lot about, hey, there's something deeper going on in your relationship that needs to be fixed.
So you're saying like you walk down the street or you walk down the street, you've never seen an attractive man and been like, oh, like that man's hot. Never.
I don't look at other men and think that, I can't do that.
I'm sorry, but I think she capping. I think she capping. No disrespect to the dude. Like he's a no weird shit. He's a very handsome guy. But like I think almost everybody on this planet has walked out and saw someone that just looked physically, physically their preference. Like, come on now. I've walked out and I've seen girls that are beautiful and are fine. Like, I will say that. But like, come on now. I've known for a fact. I'm not. Oh, ooh, I dropped her name. I'm gonna have to blur that. I'm gonna blur that out in the editing. Don't worry about it. I have 100% known that my girl has seen other men and have definitely found them attractive. Okay, I'm back. Had to check something.
To especially being a Christian, I can't I can't look at other men and say like, oh, that man is, if I can't be
Sorry,
sexually,
is
I'm
it
not
because
sexually
you're a
attracted.
Christian or is it because you're you?
Now it's because I am a believer and I do believe in the cross. I believe in Jesus Christ and I believe that
Me too.
he is my savior. He's my Lord and Savior.
Same.
And I believe in the Bible. I believe in the
Okay.
whole Bible, not just a little bit of the Bible, but the whole entire Bible.
Okay.
It's funny because part of me is like, no, but part of me is like, yes, because we are human beings and attraction is part of life. So I will say that.
Everybody will have
It's funny,
attraction
that
to other
worked
people.
against me, meaning most of us, when you go out and date somebody, I'm assuming you find them very attractive, right? So in my head, I'm gonna expect people to look at
Exactly.
my wife or girlfriend as they're walking down the street, and even though sometimes it's rude to make certain comments. I've been in that, but I was the kind of person where I was like, I didn't care because as far as I know, she's with me and she's going to get looks. But because I didn't react, that was a problem. Because I
I'm one of the people who will react and will be openly jealous. And it's crazy because my girl is one of the people that's not gonna really care. So like we kind of have that dynamic, and it sometimes does come back and causes a problem for a second. But we talk through it and fix it.
didn't get jealous, and I'm like, why am I jealous? I'm with you. This is where I got confused.
I'm
Are people
with
just
you.
coming up
Why am I
in a
jealous?
relationship saying, hey, he's attractive, she's attractive, she's like, how does that work?
I mean,
guess personally.
my boyfriend's the same way. He is like, yeah, like he wants me to like go out and people look at me, and I think that's, of course, sometimes I want him to be a little, of course, yeah, of course, a little bit.
Show me
But
out.
I actually think
Show
that's
me off.
right. I actually think that's
Basically.
a healthy way to go, is to be secure in the relationship, be like, yeah, my partner is hot and I get to be with them. I think that's a healthy way to go.
And the other question is this in the
My
same
girls tried to
line
explain that
as
to me, but like it's
emotional
just
cheating?
like
Because I've just kind of learned the
insecurity,
definition
man.
of that, and then you've just said that, and I'm seeing back, and I'm like, wait,
Like,
this
what?
sounds like emotional cheating.
No, I
You know what I'm saying?
would
I'm
say
confused.
emotional cheating is like you're developing a romantic connection with another person.
And emotional cheating is also secretive most of the time.
Yes.
Cheating is
Okay.
a lot of
Okay, okay, okay.
having an open conversation with your partner about like, I mean, you watch a movie and you're like, oh, the actress is kind of hot,
Yeah.
Or, like with my
Yeah.
current boyfriend, I am honest. We honestly make jokes about it sometimes. Like I was like, "Oh, are you into her? Are you into her?" And he's like, no. But like obviously,
Good answer.
I know that he like might think that she's pretty,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's
Always.
attraction. That's a physical attraction. There's so much more to a relationship that
Yeah, there's so much
you
more
can
in a
bank on.
relationship
It's like
than
an
just
emotional thing, or
physical
like, are you there for
attraction or like overall lust. Like There's more in a relationship. Like I wouldn't cheat on my shorty with a shorty that I like with a girl that I think like, oh, she's fine or oh, she bad. Cause I I like more of what I have in my girlfriend than what she has. Like, yeah, she has a fat ass. Well, so I really got a tough personality that I low key vibe with. I don't know if she like. I don't care. I don't care about her.
when I call you.
One question. Do
Don't
you
about the other
think,
girl.
based on that, do you think that's a healthier way? In that, sometimes you might joke about it, that, out of our choice that we might find someone attractive, or to just keep that hidden into yourself?
Well, okay, so
I think W take if you can joke about it, if you can joke about it, that makes it 20 times more healthier. I don't care. W that's my take on it. If I can joke about it with her, like, oh, you think he fine, don't you? And she like, boy, stop. I think that it makes the relationship 20 times healthier. And I know my relationship's not the healthiest. I'm insecure. I'm a little jealous. I
I
know.
think you should definitely like if it's a celebrity or something like obviously I'm not gonna go and like and two,
Yeah,
I think too
celebrity
like when
crushes.
you're saying attraction, there's attraction and then there's sexual attraction. So I think that there needs to be they're two different things. I
Yeah.
used to tell him like, oh my god, when I was little, I used to love like Raspy, Chris Brown, all of them. Like I used to think that they were so
'Cause there's a difference between oh she's pretty and oh I would definitely crack her
like
down.
handsome, but like
There's
in my
there's a difference, a
marriage,
big difference.
I don't see another man and be like, ooh, like he's
I have a
Yeah,
question.
no.
Like, I'm not.
She's a
I have a question.
hunk.
If you guys are done talking, I don't want to interrupt.
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, and so I think that also defining it within your relationship is very important
yeah,
too. So like
totally. What
to
works for
say
you?
exactly. So we may look at the terminology different, and so like for us, for example, if I say that I'm attracted to somebody, and we had to break this down even in our relationship. If I say I'm attracted to somebody, that means that I'm willing to pursue them just within us. That's what we came to an agreement of. Now I may say like, oh, they have a nice hairstyle or they have nice eyes or something like that. That's just a quick acknowledgement, and we may compliment them on it and just keep it moving. And that's just in our definition of what we have within our marriage.
If you cheat on someone, you are not in love with them.
No, no, because this goes back to that one part I said a while ago, where you have this one person that you like, but then there's another person that fills the rest of the boxes that the first person doesn't have. So like you can love someone, but you can also still cheat on them because of something else. Uh, there was something else I was gonna say. Also, there's different type of loves. Like I could love you as like a friend or pet after you cheat on me.
Agreeers. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed that up.
Oh no.
Agreeers? Oh, sorry.
Apologies.
You are not in love with them, right?
Yeah, not.
Okay.
At first, I stuttered because I was trying to think in their own right, they might think they're in love, but as a flat statement, I don't think they are. If you really are truly in love, it's all you think about is that other person, right? Or you want to be with them and you want to try and do right with them, even though there may be certain things you do up and down that may not displease them, but you're learning together. But
It's not true. It's not true. Cause I love my girlfriend. I can say that wholeheartedly. But there's times where I don't want to be messed with by her or want to be by her at all. There's times where I want to be alone, and there's times where I don't want to even talk to her. They're not the center of your universe. Love can be defined by a plethora of different things. I know. I'm using big ass vocabulary.
going out and being unfaithful to them and then turn around saying you still love them, it just doesn't sit right with me. Or it doesn't logically make sense to me in that aspect.
You can
Thoughts?
see where he's coming
Okay.
Because
from,
I know
though.
you're itching.
I'm itching.
I can see what
I
his
think
point of
that
view
falling
is.
in love is an experience. In my experience, I had never encountered the experience of falling in love. I can say with certainty today that my episode of cheating was definitely the experience of falling in love. When I was with the partner that I cheated on, it was a part of a plan. There was a plan to get married, there was a plan to have kids, there was a plan to make sure everything we did was in the best interest of each other. Whereas the aspect of falling in love, there was no plan. I crossed paths with somebody who lit my soul on fire, and all logic went out the window.
Was that love though or lust?
Oh, it was so much. It was so
Yeah,
much.
facts. Because there's a lot of people who do mix up the feeling of love with the feeling of like with other feelings. Like I have heard of where people have been in relationships and they have like, oh, they enjoy doing this with this other person because like it just felt wrong and it just didn't feel good. It felt wrong, but it felt so right to them. That's not love. That is lust and your situation. Because there's people who have gotten married to those people, and after that happened, it all disappeared. Like, cause there was no more of that excitement that came when you first started doing this cheating.
So I think that when I think of the word love now, I actually replace it with the word want. I think that the
She has a lot of
statement that
technicalities.
was made about
She has a
not
lot
being
of
in
technicalities.
love with somebody, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have capacity or capability to love him. I certainly was loving him in other ways.
Again, we're all doing this. We kind of like try to figure out what the statement means and reading into it. But as the flat statement, I don't think all that's entailed. Because again, there's different types of love. There's also each person's way they look at love, what you think
That's what I
love
said
is,
earlier.
at what
Like love you as
age.
a friend or
Love
pet
may
or
be
dog.
one thing. Even now, you just said now you look at love a different way. So it gets kind of complicated. But at the base
I love you get
level, I
tired holding
think
this,
I just feel like it's like
especially because this is an hour
no,
long video.
you didn't really love them. Even on your own
I still got
description of
28
what love
minutes
means
left.
to you. Think about what love means to you. When you cheated, did you meet that standard of what love meant?
Yeah, I think what's tricky about it, right, was since I had, I'll say, these idols of marriage, family, all of that, I was more in love with the idea of what
That's
those
something
things were
else.
than the person that I put into the role.
Which there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that because again, we all come
Oh,
from experiences.
So,
I think I get it.
but being able to kind of look back and compare, I think that comparison is the thief of joy, right? And what it does is it steals all of the value from the experience that was still very much valid.
Yeah, no one's saying it might not be valid, but was it still love though? Because like I said,
I don't know if
and it's hard to. I get what you're saying. You don't know because again, you were in that. When you were in there, you were in it, and you've grown, and you moved, and you've changed.
Does that
Yeah.
satisfy your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. I don't think that you can be in love and cheat on somebody.
I want to respond to something you said that
I'm not gonna lie, these questions are worded so
Right in there.
weirdly. I'm
No,
kind of
no,
confused
You,
whether they
yeah,
agree
you
with the right
said
thing that I'm
that
thinking of.
when you're in love with somebody, they're all you think about, that you just want to be with that person all the time. And I vehemently disagree with that. I think,
Yeah,
and
I
for
disagree
me,
with that.
obviously, I disagree with this. I can say that I really, truly did love the people, or I should say, most of the people that I cheated on in those relationships. I based my value and I based my identity on those relationships. That person was all I thought about. And it almost was like I trapped myself. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then I sought outside of that relationship. I think that they say like someone shouldn't be your universe. They should be a planet in your universe. So it's like I have friends. Sometimes I'm just like bye, and I go hang out with my friends. My family is very important to me. He is not my world, and this is the healthiest relationship.
Now,
Or
I
is
was-
my universe.
And I was saying that more metaphorically, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But even in that, you were infatuated and everything was him, and you were giving all. Then the question is, were you in love then?
That's a good point.
Again, I'm just asking that
Yes.
just based on what you're saying.
Like in my first serious relationship, for sure, I was in love with him, and he was my first real love, and I was in love with him, and I still made the choice to cheat. It was a choice I made. It was a selfish choice. I felt extremely guilty afterwards. So I think it depends, but I think you absolutely can be in love with somebody and still make bad choices
Cheat.
based on selfishness, anger, insecurity, whatever it may be.
I believe that we can grow in love. I believe that there's portions of our love that's lacking, and then we can actually grow in that. So I don't believe that just because you cheated on someone doesn't mean that you don't love them. I believe that that there can be love there, but there's something there that just is causing that portion of it to just be almost like in depletion. Like I couldn't love him fully the way that the way that he needed to, because there was something there that was lacking. Like I didn't have the understanding of, you know, what it meant to be a wife, what it meant to be a partner.
Falling in love is not a choice. You meet someone, it happens for whatever reason, you're compatible. Staying in love is a choice. You are choosing, and perhaps in that moment, you are not choosing to love that person. You're choosing not to love that person, and then maybe you can choose to love them again. I'm not saying falling in that love, but love, to continue loving somebody is an action.
I do think that falling in love is a choice.
Fucking check up,
Oh,
guys.
okay.
And the reason that I think falling in love is a choice is because you allowed it, right? Like when I think about the experience that I had full autonomy in that situation, right? I could have immediately went to my husband and said, I've caught something. There's something magical here.
caught
I gotta
something.
go.
But you caught
I think it's a mix of yeah and no. Cause like you can fall in love, but you can try and stop it. But your heart desires what your heart desires, so you can't really stop developing feelings for somebody.
thoughts, and that's what I'm saying. Like I was still we were not together. I was still talking to my ex when I met my current partner, and I told my current partner at the time, I don't want to be serious with you. I
Started
never
monologue this
intended to
video.
catch feelings with my current partner. I just kind of fell in love with this guy.
You know, it's interesting. The prompt is in love. And some people didn't use that when they were talking. They're saying love, not in love. And to me, in love and love are two different things.
Two different
I
completely.
fall in love as a human being with other humans, men, women, whatever. I fall in love very easily. I believe in love. Love is the driving force in my life. So I was in love with every woman that I cheated on. I was in love with them. If I loved them truly, that would have been a different story, maybe. But to me, there's a difference
So
between
your
being in
capacity to
love
love changed.
and you love somebody. Right?
It's so interesting because I actually, in my mind, view it like the opposite. Like I love so many people.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I love my friends. I love my family. I love people that I'm like, oh, we've just met and I love you. Like in love, when you fall in love, you're in love with somebody. It stirs something up. It's different.
I think we
It's,
get to semantics.
Yeah,
right, no,
yeah,
it's
I was gonna say,
semantics. It's
like-
totally semantics. I just thought it was interesting.
is
I feel like we should bring up
It's
limerence
turning something
maybe
in
for a
you,
second.
and like
What
that
we're all
feeling.
talking about falling in love. I feel like textbook psychology brings up limerence all the time, and they actually kind of just like shirk the entire affair experience under this word. And
The rest of the world that doesn't know what limerence.
limerence is a chemical reaction inside of your brain in the very early stages of a relationship.
Okay.
So it occurs between mother and child during birth. And what they say, or what a lot of people say, is that limerence is actually to blame for, and I'm not laughing, but I am. They say that limerence is actually the reaction that is at play psychologically between affair partners, because it creates this infatuation. It creates all the ecstasy feelings
See that?
of being in love.
See that? I can see
So
that.
Like a drug.
Yes,
You guys
yes.
know the
Yeah, it's
A
addictive.
limerent object, a limerent addiction.
Do you guys know the 70-30 theory? It's like the layman's
Yeah.
term, yeah, that you're in a relationship with someone and you love them and they have 70%, because nobody's perfect. They have 70% of the things that you're looking for, and then you meet someone that has that missing 30%. And you're
That's what I said earlier, with one person having like, okay, he has this, but then the other person having like that other little bit that you've been missing. It's like, oh wow, it's like a whole different experience. That's what I was talking about earlier. See, I'm locked in. I'm tapped in, guys. I'm tapped in.
like, oh, this person has everything that I'm missing, and then you go and you cheat with that person, is that 30%, and then you realize,
Yeah.
oh shit,
It's like,
They
damn.
ain't got that
they,
70%.
yeah, the
Where the rest of this
70%
dick
is
go?
gone now. Yeah.
Where
I'm
the
gonna start
fuck did it
calling
go?
my husband the 30%er.
Hey,
Moving on to the next prompt. I would rather not know that I was cheated on.
Nah, I would rather know. If I would rather know because like you, like if you just broke up with me, like I'm saying, damn, if my shorty, I gotta put that out too because I said her name again. If my shorty, well, let me put that on my thing again. Back to what I was saying. If my girl cheated on me, I would definitely want to know. Cause like, if she just broke up with me out of nowhere, I'm thinking like, what did I do wrong? How do like what? So I'm thinking it's my fault. Like at that point, if she just tells me, I know, okay, it's not my fault. It's hers, and I can be mad at her. Like if you told, like if you hide it from me, I'm a suspect it's something I did.
It's lonely up here. So I think my perspective on this has shifted quite a bit after the last year since I've been dialoguing so much with both betrayers and the betrayed party. And I think that there's slight benefit to the person who has been betrayed if the betrayer has already come to a decision about leaving the relationship. I think that our whole truth is not necessarily a obligation to give to everybody.
Did you let your husband know when you cheat,
Oh,
or
yeah.
your ex-husband know
Oh,
when
yeah.
you cheated on him?
Yeah, I told
How did
him.
that conversation?
It was awful. It was
Yeah, of
horrible.
course it would
It
be.
felt like I was giving him more information than he needed. What had happened was fell in love with a colleague overseas. I was like, there's no way this can be happening. I am married. I can't do this. And then I slept with him and I went back home and I moved out and I said, okay, I cannot be trusted with this person. And I disclosed everything and
Fixing the
dropped the hammer and then just
computer.
went on my way to an apartment by myself. If you have cheated on somebody, the psychological effects on that person need to be considered. Your perception of everything that had occurred is tainted.
Yeah, but for like someone like me, you would actually fuck my psychological worse by not telling me, because then I'm gonna be left with questions and wondering why, or what did I do wrong? What could I have done to fix it? And whole time it wasn't me. It was you and your feelings. So like someone like me, I would need you would I think it would be better for you to tell me and me cry, be hurt, fall on the floor, yada yada yada, than me constantly wondering what did I do wrong and thinking that I was the source of the problem and going into my next relationship thinking, oh, I did this wrong in the first one and then I'm gonna change it in the second one. Whole time I made it worse because I was doing everything right to begin with.
Because you're wondering, well, was she thinking about me in this picture that we took? Was she thinking about him? And I think that there is just a lot to consider when you are deliberating on how much and what to share.
I love everything you just said. I agree, but with like a caveat of I'm thinking of this from the cheater's perspective. I always told my partners when I cheated on them, but I told them for the wrong reasons. I told them to alleviate my own guilt. And when the fact is, I should have just ended the relationship. And so my thing is, I wouldn't want my partner to tell me just so they could beg me for my forgiveness and let's move forward. Da, da, da. I would only want them to tell me in the context of like, and I'm breaking up with you, like, and no like details or anything. It would just be like, I'm breaking up with you. Oh my god, why? I cheated, and I obviously can't be with somebody that I would cheat on. Like that would be so. Yes, I would want them to tell me, but like only in that context of like, I cheated. We have to break up.
I believe you owe it to that person no matter what. I believe that the person that you cheated on needs to know, and not only that, it's the secrecy, like that it hurts so much more when you're keeping it a secret from them and not telling them anything. I truly believe in confession. I believe that needs to be said. And they need to know that. They need to know that.
Yeah,
I know
They've
you
been
mentioned
hiding
like
that.
psychological damage.
Listening to her
How
and
would
it
you?
makes it my own personal opinion. I see where she's coming from, and I totally agree. Cause like personally, I think I would personally be more mad if you didn't tell me, and then like later on I figured out from another person, oh, she cheated. So you're telling me I stressed out all this time thinking I was the problem, but no, it was you to begin with? That would make me even more mad and make it like I don't hate a lot of people, but she would actually be put on my hate list. Like
Respond to that.
I would say it is not my place to dictate what somebody else needs. It's their place to tell me what they need.
initially telling them that, hey, I stepped out and I cheated on you, is a necessity, just point blank, period. Now, how far you go into
exactly.
details is going to then at that point be, okay, how much does that person ask to where they may want to try and figure out, okay, why did this happen? What happened? Who did it happen with? When? If they ask those questions, then I think you definitely owe it to them to answer it, regardless of what you may feel like. For to your point where
Exactly.
you brought up
You owe
psychological,
it to them.
I feel like at that point, once you already cheated, like psychologically, they've already taken a lot of damage. So therefore, we still have to.
If you
at-
don't know about it, it doesn't do any damage.
Well,
So
I
But
will say
that would
there's
be
one
the.
thing. You did say, I don't want to be with someone who cheated on me, right? So, but you agreed that you would never tell the person, right? If you cheated on them. So let's say you're in a
I didn't say
relationship.
that.
Well, but you came forward as an agreeer,
Yes.
right? And then just before we all came forward, you said I would never want to be in a relationship with someone who cheated on me.
Yes.
And if they neglected to tell you that, then you would technically be in a relationship
Well, then
with
I
someone who
wouldn't.
cheated on you.
Let me.
It's a
Then I'll
technicality.
say I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with somebody I know cheat on me, and that's why I'm saying.
Got it,
So I
okay.
guess I'm not agree or disagree. I'm more in the middle of
Totally.
like I would want them to tell me I cheated on you, and therefore like we should break up.
She has
In
a
my
lot of great
situation,
opinions and a
I
lot of great
found out.
points that I like.
But if I'm being honest with you, I don't know if it would have been worse or better if they told me. I'm being honest with you. I don't even know how to comprehend that. Like me finding out, then you bold-faced coming to me and saying, I did this, this, and this.
it doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think it makes any. Me personally, I
That can
don't
be
Very
know.
vivid
similar to
memory, so
any
I can
Yeah.
for
imagine it. And
everybody. Like,
yes, I
but at the
think
end of the day, I feel
the
like when
output
you're holding something back from,
output would be
it's
much better.
honestly
You told me.
you're not even taking accountability
Mhm.
for what you did. So if you're gonna say like I'm not gonna tell them because of psychological damage,
Yeah.
Hold
you
on.
chose to cheat.
Hold on. Disclosing that you cheated to the person that you cheated on is not accountability. That is just revealing
That is taking
information.
accountability.
Accountability.
You can I would
Accountability.
consider that as a form of taking accountability. You're so open.
That's
Be
delivering
open
news.
about this. Listen,
That's delivering news.
that is
It's
a
the
form
first
of
step
taking
towards
a
accountability.
I
Thank
agree with
you.
you.
Maybe it's
It
the
is.
first
It's a
step.
first step to
It's interesting
Not
because
necessarily
accountability.
Be
Wait,
open about this one.
Let's let her
then.
respond. Let's let her respond.
Be open.
because,
Let her respond.
Girlfriend. Okay. all right.
because I
I'm
don't.
just saying you're very open about it,
Accountability.
but you're like
All right, Black Shorty, we hear you. We hear you. Can we please let the white girl talk now? Like, damn.
it's like you it's hypocritical. So when you're saying like I have the right to withhold this information for the sake of psychological damage, but you chose to cheat.
You're talking about the benefits for you. You're alleviating your guilt by telling somebody what you did. You are achieving relief by doing a confession. And what I'm saying is maybe it doesn't have to be that person.
All right.
As someone who's been cheated
I
on,
was about to ask the same question. Oh,
I guess who else would you tell?
I would tell a therapist. I would go and I would check myself into therapy and I would say, holy I've derailed my life and I don't know what I'm doing. But I don't
But
want to
even
cause
then-
any more damage. And therefore, please help me guide me in my next steps.
if I'm
A
How
good
much more selfish
therapist
is that though?
I was
will
going to be honest-
allow
so
you.
selfish. It's still
Oh, I'm
still a
very
form of
selfish.
selfishness.
actually, to be honest, I think
My
both- I think
number
both
one
ways are
priority
selfish.
is me. And that was the biggest lesson I
And
learned.
is it still
about
like that in
cheating.
your
Oh,
relationship today?
absolutely.
Well,
If I want to show up to a thriving relationship requires a fulfilled individual. And if I do not have me at the primary center of my decisions, I will start making decisions for other people. And what that means is they start to lead my life.
no.
I don't.
She's like
I actually
she sounds like 10 out of 10 manipulator. I don't know why, but this sounds like a
Changed my.
manipulator,
I think I've changed my opinion.
like a narcissist type of headspace. I don't know why. Maybe I'm tweaking. Maybe I'm tweaking. I was like highly, so maybe I'm tweaking.
It didn't occur to me the idea of like finding it. Like that just didn't
That's
occur.
what I'm saying. Like,
If it's for me, if it's between walking in on my partner cheating, I mean, that would just traumatize me versus like my partner
Oh yeah.
coming to me and saying, listen, I cheated. I would prefer the latter. I would want the choice. Do I want to move forward in this relationship or do I want to break up? And I would want to give my partner that same choice to put the ball in their court and say, this happened. This is how I feel about it, which might be like, and we need to break up, or I don't want to break up, or whatever it is. I did this. This is how I feel. How do you feel? Do you want to stay with me? Do you want to work this out or not?
when you turn the other person, I'm always curious, like, what do you expect from the other person? And that's where I start to question: are you doing it for selfish reasons? Because I expect them to be like, you know what, we'll work through it.
I don't think you can expect
or-
anything.
Which is,
That you have to go in without
but I'm curious, like at the time, can you recollect or remember what you were
Oh, at the
thinking?
time?
At the time, yeah. What you
When
were
I-
thinking when you said, "I'm going to tell."
There were times I cheated that I did not tell my partner.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking about that too now. When I told my partners that I cheated, it was out of guilt, it was out of shame, and I wouldn't necessarily say expectation, but my hope was that they would forgive me.
Okay.
And I guess that maybe it
Wait,
was
I have a question really quick. Did telling them eliminate your shame and guilt?
No, of course not.
But I'm curious if you're open.
Wait, let's actually dig into. I guess what was kind of like your point there?
If you are disclosing information to somebody else in effort of releasing something that you feel is holding you back, shame and guilt, that is actually not the effective solution. The effective solution is going into the shame and guilt, acknowledging it, and understanding why it's there. Shame tells me I am not aligned with my value system and the way that I operate in the world.
But
that's why-
you're
wait,
missing.
wait, wait,
But
but
you're
that's why-
missing the point of the other person's time. You've ruined pretty much ruined their life. You've used up their time.
No. Hold
and-
on, wait a second.
So you don't think you?
Wait a second.
Go ahead.
I think that the only person who has the power to destroy my life is me.
I mean, you can say that. You can say that now as a person who's grown and gone through something. But when you're in the
Jeez.
situation, when you're in a relationship with
L
somebody,
relationship
and they
that I
don't know
would
that you're cheating on
definitely
them, you
don't wanna
think like
find.
you owe that to.
Why would I develop a dependency for my life's purpose?
But it sounds.
No one's saying it's a
Nobody
dependency.
Nobody said all that.
No,
See,
it
nobody
sounds
said all
like
that.
you're trying to say that I should just be able to do whatever I want. How you take it is all up to you, but
Exactly.
I'm going to have the freedom to do whatever I want.
Oh,
even
no,
if
no,
it
no.
hurts you.
Maybe
That's
you
what it
didn't.
sounds like.
Maybe you didn't hear my first statement. I agree that you don't always have to disclose a betrayal to the betrayed person.
I think that you always should give that to them. It's not it's not in a
you
sense
have
to
a
try and relieve
suicidal
any type of guilt or shame that you have. It's not to say that, oh, once I do this, I'm going to feel better. No, it's, as you said, to put the ball in their court and say, you know what, I got to be upfront with you, because just think about the emotional trauma of what what they're going to feel when you say it to their face. But what about the trauma that they'll feel if they hear it from somebody behind their back?
And, like, I have
Exactly.
to just about putting the ball in your court. I wish that had happened to me. Like, as the person cheated on, both times I was not told. Both times I don't know, used magical intuition or something, and I knew exactly who it was, when it was, what time it happened, and I broke off the relationship.
Deep
the first
down,
time.
we always know.
We always know. And so, I mean, I think, yeah, putting the ball, I wish the ball had been put in my court. Both times I was not apologized to. They never admitted to doing it. And like,
I was.
Damn.
I've
So
been,
it's
I've
just-
been
it's
cheated on
rough.
too, and I've
Yeah.
also been cheated on.
and I wish,
knew-
I wish,
Including thoughts.
I don't know
When
if
I
it
was
had been
cheated on,
I was
yeah,
gonna
as
say-
well. He
All right,
came
y'all
and
all
told
talking at
me
the same
and
time.
broke
Slow
up with
down.
me and
Slow
gave
down.
me no option.
Well,
So
right. So that's
Wait,
why.
Yeah,
let's
but I
hear
think
from-
that was very, very, very emotionally traumatizing
Yeah.
for me. You know,
That-
but
because it felt like abandonment.
yeah, it
Yeah.
did. But I've never
Hold
been abandoned before. Like I've never
It was
experienced
your
that.
first
So
experience. with
right.
abandonment.
And so it definitely like took time for me to get.
Okay.
She brought up a very good point. What if someone is suicidal? What if
I see, I heard, I did hear
It's
that,
like
but I
that
still
made me think, because I'm like, I think you should definitely disclose it at some point somehow, and yet If I had a partner who was so fragile and I knew that
But
they
how
were
long
during
have they
that
been fragile? Were
news,
they fragile when you cheated or way before you cheated? That's kind of why.
I've been in that situation. There are safeguards you can put in place that you make sure that they're with safe people, that they have people who can support them through that time. Because I have been in that situation.
But what I'm saying is, I respect that. But the same token, when you met this person with a suicide,
Yeah, understandable. Cause my ex girlfriend was one of those people. What am I talking about? She cheated on me. Damn it. Hold on. She cheated on me and she didn't even care. She got in a relationship the next day. She was perfectly fine. What am I about to yap about?
Oh no, I'm saying I was the suicidal person
so
who was cheated on.
but using that as like a deterrent for why you shouldn't tell someone is it's not always. I understand it,
As somebody who was in that situation, I agree that I was still glad I was told.
It's not always the cheater's fault when they cheat.
I can think of one instance where I would say it's not the cheater's fault. If someone is in an abusive situation and maybe they don't feel safe to leave the relationship, I could understand why. And
Alright.
maybe even
Yep.
like
I
they've
can agree
fallen
with
for
this.
someone else, they use that as an excuse to get out of the relationship. I would still say it stems from within, for sure.
I agree because the fact of the matter is if you're getting like physically or emotionally abused or you're getting like hit and beat, then someone else coming into your life and treating you the way you should, of course you're going to grow attraction to it. And if you're scared, like your life will be threatened or was threatened if you left the relationship, you have this person who's treating you right and then this person who's abusing you. And yeah, I'm going to hide it. And I'm going to hide it and pursue the relationship with the other person. Hell, the other person could also probably save me from you. So yeah, I completely agree with this statement that she is saying.
But that would be the one instance in which I would say I could totally understand like where the cheating came from, that you're not safe.
I think that I have read too many accounts of women and men being taken advantage of and being put into a situation where there really is no choice. So, a lot of the women that I counsel are in domestic violence households, and a lot of them have been threatened with murder if they chose to leave the relationship. And so, what ends up happening is all of a sudden you're at work and you are having a conversation with a male colleague who exhibits genuine care for you and your situation. It's almost impossible
Well, to
to
not like
stop the inertia of love from being able to take that person out of the situation.
If I had to play devil's advocate, do you think replacing something that can be considered negative with another negative makes it right?
It's difficult to compare like one sin to another, but I think that at the end of the day, if somebody is harming you, whether it's emotionally or physically, and they're making that choice, that's always going to be worse to me.
I also think that truth and reality really don't give a shit about right or wrong. So it's kind of like, why would I be so obsessed with labeling somebody else's decision that ultimately resulted in their safety?
Yeah, might make them safer.
Okay, I believe wrong is wrong. I do. I believe that two wrongs don't make right. There's no way. Like I just that's just my personal belief. I
she
don't
is
think
very
that
Christian.
um
Okay.
But what if that person is
She
not safe
she's
to
more
leave?
into the black and white view of the world, but truly there is nothing that's ever like black and white. There will always be a gray area, a plateau that your morals and the way you were raised and the what you believe in would like tell you how to navigate that situation. Neither are particularly wrong or right. It's just like based on your opinion and your character and your morality.
then okay,
My
so but
morality
they're okay to cheat.
my morality says I agree with this because of the facts that I stated earlier. Her morality is she's Christian and there's no two wrongs equal a right in this situation or any situation to her.
Wait,
It's
hold
not. It's
on.
not
So
a
I can
question
see
of
what she's talking
okay.
about, but
I
like I
think
don't
that
agree.
it's without partiality. Like I can't sit here and say that somebody is right for cheating
We
based
didn't
off
say
of
right. We just said
or
not
they're
wrong.
okay to be able to cheat based off of the fact that they're in an abusive relationship. if you are in an abusive relationship, get the heck out.
But what if you can't? It's
You
not always
can't.
that
So
Then
simple.
my
how is
question
it that
is,
no one is able to
Oh,
like
yeah.
tell
Girl,
me?
you got to talk to some girls.
Yeah,
You gotta
okay,
talk
no,
to
no,
some
My
girls.
question would be,
calm down.
so
I
if
just want to
we're
know. I'm asking the question because you're saying that someone can sit there and cheat on someone based off of the fact that they're in an abusive relationship. Where does that come, like how does that make that okay, or make it right? Where does that come
It's
in?
not a black and white thing, and I think we keep coming to
Yeah,
that.
as I said
I
earlier.
don't think anybody is saying like it's okay. I think we're just saying it's not okay, and it's in the middle.
But I believe in yes or no
Gray
and
area.
okay or not
Right,
okay,
Yeah,
and
right
see,
or
as
I
I
wrong.
said
think
earlier,
some of
she's
us
more
are
in the
thinking
black and
black and
white,
white,
and
and some of us just
it's
aren't those
great.
kinds of people, and I think that's
Yeah, I'm
okay.
not open about
But
that.
I'm not saying that being unsafe in an abusive relationship makes it okay to cheat. What I'm saying is that someone might use forming a relationship with another person as a safety net, because now you have somebody else to go to. Because I think a lot of people don't realize, but the abuse actually kicks up after you leave the relationship. It gets worse because the person who's abusing you will stalk you, will chase you, will blow up your phone, will show up at your house. It is very dangerous
Overall,
for
just
people, I'm not
what's
going to
the
gender it, for
word?
people who are leaving abusive situations.
Overall, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word and I can't think of it. God damn, I'm not locked in. I locked out. Overall. I'll think of the word later.
It gets more dangerous. And so cheating, forming another relationship with somebody may actually help that person find safety.
my question would be like, how would it help them find safety if the relationship is already abusive? I would think that that would anger the person more to
Yeah,
where
It doesn't matter though. That's what I'm saying.
It's the disclosing
something
of
to
the
say.
internal reality.
We are all humans in our bodies, and you have a right to feel comfortable in your body and to feel safe. And whether or not you have to make a decision that makes you immoral or
Harassment,
whatever in order
overall
to protect
harassment. I
your
found the word.
safety, that is okay in my eyes.
I
I don't
think
think
so.
about right and wrong. I was raised in the church, so I was drilled a lot about black and white and right and wrong.
Me
I just
too.
can't. And my dad was a pastor.
I think
Crazy.
I know we brought up specifics and everything, but I think if we're just looking at the specific prompt in itself, I think that there's always a choice. There's always a choice. I understand, maybe if someone's under the influence and, I can see
There's
how that
always
could
a
be
choice to cheating.
literally blurred. But I think in general, if someone's
Yes,
sober,
cheating is a
cheating
choice.
is a choice.
No, I agree.
And I
sometimes
think
it's
that
life or
that's
death.
where, we can put the fault on that person because they made that conscious decision.
But what is
And
the purpose of assigning fault?
well, I mean, I'm not saying there's any purpose. That wasn't the prompt.
Yeah.
Like the prompt was
Yeah, if
like
you're
that
going
the
off the
person
prompt
is at
itself,
fault.
then
Boil it
she's
down.
answering
Yeah,
it.
I'm trying to
But
get
my
deeper.
point,
I'm
but
trying to
No,
get
I
deeper.
understand. I love that.
yeah,
I
'cause
will-
it's still that choice to where you have to have the accountability held for you. I think that's where it's important to have the right or wrong,
Yes.
regardless of whether we think it's black or white. Yes, I feel like if we do not have an objective choice of what is right, what is wrong, then we should just be in a world that's a free for all and jails emptied out. No judicial system. The thought
Not
process
wrong.
in my mind, I know it was brought up that okay, that may be their only way out of the relationship. But then it was later brought up that sometimes getting out of the relationship is the worsening part. So if you're leaning towards getting out the relationship anyway, are you going to
No,
create
what I
more
meant
havoc?
is that you have a safe haven now that somebody, which is also might lead to more toxic situations. But I just mean if you are so desperate to get out of a relationship and you know that that abuse is going to crank up as soon as you leave, now I have somebody else to protect me. That's what I was thinking. And I do think that
I
again,
see
like
what she's talking about.
blame,
I mostly agree
fault,
with her.
I prefer accountability.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Is something can be right, something can be wrong, something can be in the middle.
And right and wrong is very subjective. Like it's
Exactly.
very different for
At the-
everyone. And
at-
Last thoughts.
yeah, right. At the end of
I
the
think more in the
day,
gray
at
area.
the
I
end
more
of the
think all
day,
around.
whatever my like reason or excuse or whatever you want to call it, it was a choice that I made, and I cannot put that on the other person.
Okay,
We had to move on. Any last
I want
concluding
to say
words
one
for each
thing. I want to
person?
say one thing.
No, we gotta move. We gotta move on to the. We gotta move on to the last concluding words. We gotta move on to the last concluding words.
once a cheater, always a cheater isn't a thing. I believe that
Oh, yeah,
there is
definitely.
forgiveness. I believe that you
Try
should
to
forgive
skip. It won't
yourself.
let
I
me
believe in
skip.
confessing to your partner. I believe in. I believe that you owe that to that person. If you are cheating, you need to
Can we
tell
talk about
them.
that last prompt?
And you can change. There is a new life for you. But that's what I'll say. I'll leave it at that.
it's great to like be able to have a conversation and see the other side and the
Why'd
other
you tell us this
perspective
now? You could have told us last
in a safe
prompt game.
space, you know. So I don't really have any concluding thoughts about the conversation other than thank you for the conversation.
Yeah.
To hear your perspective, it all made me think. And you know, the interesting thing for me is knowing why I cheated and where I am now, just as a human being with my maturity, understanding of the world, and my own history of abuse and trauma, and how you know,
Still
it's
don't
like
believe
I've
it, gang.
forgiven myself a
Like, I
long
still don't
time
believe
ago,
his
so
story,
it's
gang.
not about that. But kudos to everyone for just
Yeah,
being
hell
respectful and really being vulnerable. So yeah.
So
Obviously, going through being cheated on, it wasn't a great experience, but I have a different perspective than I have ever had, like than I ever would have had if I didn't get cheated on,
Yes.
because
This
now I
was
know how to
very like
communicate, and I
very
think that that's like the
informational and
biggest
very
thing and the
like
biggest gift that
helpful
we all have
seeing the
is
other
we're able to
side of the
speak and we're able to
cheaters.
communicate.
Yeah, I think like throughout this whole conversation, I think I learned that communication is preventative on all different measures, and if we can learn how to have that communication prior to, it can help us stay away from like the hard conversations
Right,
after.
right.
100% agree. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tell it to all of America and all of the nuance and talking.
Ask for permission, not beg for forgiveness.
thanks for joining this episode of Middle Ground of Cheaters versus Cheated On. If you guys want to shake hands and embrace, please do.
This was, as I said earlier, this was very informational, very helpful seeing the other side of cheaters because I'm not a cheater. I'm very loyal, even if my situation is, even if my situationship isn't the best, I'm still loyal to the T. I will not cheat. But this was very helpful. I enjoyed watching this video, and I think this video is mad long, and I have to edit this because I'm actually gonna go through and watch it and have to like mute out where I said my girl's name. So if you enjoyed the video, thank you for watching. Drop a like and subscribe, like you saw in the intro, and I'll see y'all next time for the next video I make. Thank you. It's a long ass video.